Did you know that inflation can actually be the elevation you need as a boss? I know y'all probably like, what, Nara? Tell me how can inflation help me elevate? I'm about to tell y'all, but y'all might want to take notes because this is probably the only time you will hear someone look at inflation as a good thing. Okay. I am Nara founder and CEO of Simply Complete Enterprises LLC, where we take the hard work out your passion. Simply Complete is a public relation firm that provides a full PR experience to our clients. We offer additional services such as business services, entity formation, assistant services, notary, workshops, infographics, research tools, and more. For more information on Simply Complete, visit simplycompleteonline.com or you can give us a call at 309-420-3475. Now, you guys, we all know that I do these chit chats for every type of CEO. There will always be a topic you or your colleagues can relate to. We are unfiltered, out the box, and have meaningful conversations in a relaxed business setting. Y'all, July 1st came, okay? July 1st came, and we saw a couple of things change depending on where you're located at, if it hadn't already happened for you. So, for me, you all, I am mostly based in Illinois most of the time, unless I'm traveling for business or if I need to take a me day or a me weekend or me week or whatever it is I need, where I literally pick up work and I take it to a totally different location, different state, everything. But my primary state that I am in all the time mostly is Illinois. Well, here in Illinois, there is a sales tax on groceries for anyone that is not familiar with, some of the cities here in Illinois. But as of July 1st, sales tax is now, we're going to say paused when it comes to grocery items. Great thing, okay? Everybody's super, super excited about it because we are living in a time where we're like, huh, I don't want to actually have to turn my car on to go anywhere because, for one, is going to burn the gas. Or you're like, okay, well, I used to be able to buy this, but now I'm like, I don't know. It's not really helping me right now to go out and buy this, and this because the cost of living is becoming very high from all of the unforeseen things that has happened just over time in the history of us being in the US. Okay. But we're not going to get into that because one thing that we all learned is sometimes you do not discuss politics, religion, race, class, things like that, but always never allow anyone to box you in and stop you from speaking your mind. But let's talk a little bit about inflation, okay? Because I know y'all like, Nara, you rambling, but what does this have to do with the chit chat today? So, y'all, let's break down the very basic definition, well, more formal definition of inflation. So, inflation is an economic indicator that indicates the rate of rising prices of goods and services in the economy. Okay, goods and services. Best example I could give you are going to a concert. You purchase your tickets ahead of time, purchase them in advance, but then if you like to buy them the at the concert or the day of the concert, you may see an increase in the price. The inflation has went up. With the economy and everything that's going on as a business owner, you're stuck to having to decide, okay, do I want to go ahead and keep my prices the same, or do I need to increase my prices because the back end fees have increased? Maybe you are a fashion designer and you're like, okay, the fabric that I use to make some of my clothing has went up 25%. So, do you want to take a 25% loss on your end, or do you want to increase your prices so that way you're able to cover the inflation that came out of your pocket to develop that piece of clothing? Or, for example, take me for instance, I have tangible goods as well as I have non tangible services. So some of those services do have additional fees that are under my control. If it's doing some type of compliance work that has to do with state fees, those state fees may fluctuate. If it's a job where I can't print it in house at my shop and I need to go to a bigger manufacturer like backdrops, banners, things like that, I may need to up my fees in order to cover those fees and vice versa. So, there are a couple of types of inflation. There are actually three types of inflations, okay? And I want to tell you all these inflations and the definitions of them so that way you can kind of take the time to say, okay, well, does any of these type of inflations relate to me or will they ever affect my brand? Okay? So let's see here. So we have demand pull inflation. Now, it occurs when the demand for goods or services is higher when compared to the production capacity. The difference between demand and supply, the shortage, results in price appreciation. So we have that one. So when you think about that demand pull inflation, and what it's talking about there is you have to say, okay, can I produce exactly what I need to cover all of my orders or to meet that demand of my customers? So you have to think, okay, if I only have 5 varsity jackets to sell and I have 15 people that want them, it's a demand. They really, really want it. So at that point, you can increase your inflation based on the fact that this is a hot item and everyone wants it. So you want to give it to the highest builder. Jesus, you are. I am so tongue tied today, okay? And let me tell you all why. I was going to hold this information in until the end of this podcast episode. But we all know how I am. When I get super, super excited about something, woo, child, I get to rambling, can't get my words out all the way. It's like my tongue gets too big for my mouth, okay? So I'm about to just tell y'all this information now, and you all are hearing it first right here on this episode because I have not even launched it yet on simplycompleteonline.com. You all, after hearing the concerns of my clients, clients that I even gained from you all tuning into these episodes, which I truly appreciate you all. It's such a humbling experience when you know that you are truly taking the hard work out of someone's passion. You're helping them to be the CEO they want to be. You letting them know that being an entrepreneur doesn't have any set rules because you're creating your type of brand. Whew, that's the beautifulest thing in the world. It's a great feeling. So we're taking all of that into consideration, thinking about everything with this inflation and having to increase fees and how much services cost and all of that good stuff. Simply Complete is happy to announce that we now have a loyalty program where you can earn points that can be turned into dollars that you can use to pay for some of your services and projects and tasks and products and all of the really dope stuff that you can get from Simply Complete. We will be launching our loyalty program in the middle of July for those customers and for new clients and customers that we haven't had yet. So, whoo, yeah. Now that I finally got that off my chest because I've been holding that news in for months. So to finally be at the point to announce it to you all is so amazing. And now hopefully I stop getting tongue tied, okay? So let's get back into our inflations. So then we have cost push inflation, okay? It occurs when the cost of production increases. Increase in prices of the inputs, the labor, raw materials, etc., increases the price of the product. Now, that is what we are seeing right now as entrepreneurs, depending on, well, honestly, not even depending on, no matter if you are a service based business or if you have physical products to give out. We are all dealing with that cost push inflation because once again, when things go up on the back end, we now have to say, okay, are we going to take a loss when it comes to our profit? Or are we going to also increase our fees so that we could still get the same profit we've been getting or more? It's things you have to think about. Then you have the built in inflation. Now, that is the expectation of future inflation results in built in inflation. A rise in prices results in higher wages to afford the increased cost of living. Therefore, high wages result in increased cost of production, which in turn has an impact on product pricing. The circle hence continues. So that was a lot right there, okay, y'all? But basically, what they're saying with built in inflation is that, take for example, now we see our economy is honestly all jacked up, okay? Gas prices, like I mentioned before, renting a home or even buying a home right now is not a good time to do it because everything is so high. So, as a business owner, we're like, okay, we already know there's something we're going to have to change right now if we want to even continue to grow our business. But we can take everything we do now to already have our fees set to the point where we know we can cover anything that happens. Now, this, y'all, is where you got to honestly, you got to do all of the boring stuff, okay? Now, I know, no one wants to do the boring stuff when it comes to business, but you have to pay attention to what's going on in your economy. You need to look at what's going on in your market. You have to really take those steps back and say, okay, it's time for me to educate myself in a different way when it comes to being a business owner that I've never had to do before. So, if you don't like watching CNN, if you do not like following stocks and all of the statistics and all of that type of stuff, this is the time to start doing it. And the reason for that is if you are going to say, okay, I had to change my prices because of elevation. Now, you're like, wait a minute, how am I elevating though from this? Because remember, we said inflation can be your elevation. So it's all tying back around. So if you educate yourself in a way you've never educated yourself as a business owner, if you're paying attention to the trends of gas and raw materials and other things and cost of living and woo utilities, y'all, everything that went up. Okay, if you pay attention to all of that and you say, okay, well, last year, let's just throw an odd number out there. I made $250,000 last year, but I had to spend $100,000 to keep my business afloat. And now you get into this year and you're like, okay, well, I'm already seeing that I'm spending 30% more than what I spent last year, but I'm still making that same amount close to what I made last year. Now, at that point, you have to think about it like, okay, got to do something different. So what you can do is follow the trends, see what's going on in the world, how it affects your business and your brand, and then you can take that information to work on that built-in inflation. If you know that it's looking like the industry you're in is going to have a hard time and it's going to be hit with back end fees and all of this stuff, you want to already have your safety net and your plan set up. You want to save as a business owner. Always make sure you have all of your ducks in a row so that you can execute the type of brand you want to execute. And everybody got to elevate somewhere. You are a fun fact. I had not updated my fees for services and projects since 2019. Okay. Yes, 2019. So that's 3 years ago was the last time I updated something. Before that, I had not updated any of my fees or services since I first launched my business in 2012. So it was definitely time to go back to the drawing board. And I get it, you all. I so get it. As a business owner, you do not want to have to be the person that say my prices are going to have to go up. Because for one, we have it in our minds that if we have to make our prices go up, people are going to think our businesses aren't doing good. Then if we give a discount, they're going to say, "Oh, they're desperate for money, so they're giving a discount." And honestly, maybe you just like, "Hey, I've gotten a lot better at this business and now it's time for me to up my fees because the quality got better." Or maybe you're just like, "You know what? Something that used to take me 5 hours to do, I can knock it down in 30 minutes. I'm going to run a sale for that." All of that is okay to do because it's your brand. So you have to be willing to be flexible and not let naysayers and other business owners and stuff get in your head if it's going to put you in a negative space or standpoint when it comes to being a CEO. So you are. It's a couple of things I live by, okay? First thing I live by is, for one, always making sure that your brand represents the integrity you have for it. Meaning, if you want to say that you have the lowest rates in your industry, then you always want to be researching, okay, well, did my competitor go up? And where's that wiggle room for me to go ahead and inflate my prices just a little bit, but still be able to live by my slogan? Maybe you have some services or items that you can mark down to a lower rate to kind of balance out the fact that you're going to increase some of your other ones. So it's so many different things you have to think about as a business owner, especially in this time we're living in. So don't look at inflation, you all, as a bad thing. Don't get down because you're like, wow, I'm used to making $500 in 2 days, and now I've only made $400 because $100 had to go more to the back end again. It's okay. We are all going to hit that point in our businesses where we're going to have to make tough decisions, and we're going to be worried about if we're going to lose clients or customers. You can't think about it. I always tell people when one door closes, five more doors open. Okay. So if you got five more doors open and when one door is closing, that's letting you know right there you're going to be okay. Do what's best for your business. Make sure you do your research. Definitely stay in tune with what's going on so you can see if it's going to affect your business. And it's little stuff we have to think about, you guys. Like, for example, if there's something going on where they can't produce enough card stock, everyone that does anything with their business, what they need card stock for, may have to readjust their services, the materials they use, or maybe even the turnaround time of projects getting done. Or if you are a hairstylist and there's a particular type of shampoo you use, but maybe with everything going on, it's hard for that company to create the shampoo and get it out as fast as possible. Maybe you have to start thinking about, okay, well, let me start ordering stuff a little bit sooner than I usually do. So we just have to recondition our minds and refocus so that we can be the type of entrepreneur set up to make it through this storm that everybody in the United States is going through right now. So I just want you all to just stay focused, stay encouraged. If you ever feel like you need to talk to someone more one on one when it comes to your brand and elevating it and just doing a good analysis with it, you all can always reach out to me through the simplycompleteonline.com, where we can set up a one on one and go more in details on how you can use inflation to be your elevation and much more. As always, you all know you can follow me on all social media platforms at Nara and Simply Complete at Simply Complete PR. Until next time, you all, remember people are going to talk, so give them a reason to mimic your dope. Bye.